Hi. So I'm having this kind of argument. Well, it's not really an argument, it's more of a discussion. There's this guy who's posting these long posts on one of my videos, one of my philosophical videos, and he's making some interesting points. But the problem is he's actually missed the point. And I figured, well, if he's missed the point about belief, then lots of people will have missed the point. So I'd do a quick video on it, discuss what I think about it a little bit, and hopefully that'll help answer some of his questions and maybe some other questions people have got that they haven't really sort of expressed or thought much about. And the truth is, a belief is just a belief. Going around trying to prove a belief is an utter waste of time. They've been doing that for centuries. Now, there are good reasons to try to prove that a belief is true, but it's completely and utterly pointless. I can't tell you how pointless it really is. Now, one of the points the guy raised was that I'm a scientist, so I believe that the Earth goes round the Sun. And he said, if it's a belief, what about if the Sun goes round the Earth? That's also a belief and equally true. But you can't hold both. You can't have your cake and eat it. And to an extent, I suppose he's right. But the fact is that just because I believe something on a scientific basis doesn't make my belief true. It doesn't move out of the realm of belief. It remains a belief. I can present as much proof as I like to support my belief. And if my belief is generally held by everybody around me, they'll accept that as proof that my belief is true. But the truth is, it remains a belief. It can't move outside of that. I can prove it within itself. I can present scientific facts and proofs about things and go, so there you go, it's proved. As long as you buy into my belief system, you'll accept those proofs and say that my belief is true. But all that means is we have a consensus. We don't have a truth. We just have a lot of people agreeing that my particular view is right. But it doesn't make it right. Now, there are opposite beliefs that people have, and if they can't gain consensus, we label them crazy beliefs. But that doesn't make them any better or any worse than the beliefs that we have in terms of being a belief. In terms of being a belief, you don't need to prove them. All you actually need to do is to learn to live with them. Now, your belief system is what's at the basis of everything you do. So usually you build your edifice of your morality upon the belief system that you have. Now, of course, that seems very poor in the way of an excuse for actually being moral. It would be much nicer if that your belief system was true. That way you could expand it to everybody else and say, hey, I've got the truth, my belief system is right, you follow me. And that's the point of it. If all belief systems are equal with each other, which they are, there's nobody who can claim the truth. And that's fine as well. Now, I believe a whole set of things, and those things are very often contradictory, quite often tautological, and to be honest, I just don't care, because proving my belief system is an utter waste of time. It'll never happen. You can't do it. There are good reasons you can't do it. It's because at the basis of things, they're contained within themselves. We come to that split that I was talking about in a previous video between the ideal and the real. All I can actually assume is that the world is real and has an impact on me and affects me. Now, that's my basic assumption. From that, I build a whole set of structures with which I move and create a morality and a theory for behaving. But equally, I could adopt the opposite view, that is, the world is an idea, it's ideal, nothing real exists, we create it because we need something to absorb our boredom through the eternity of existence. Now, that difference between the ideal world and the real world, there is no meeting point. There's no way that you can prove one from the other, and any attempt to do so is really just going to be a waste of time. Now, of course, a lot of people don't believe that, and so for the last 2,000 years, we've had that argument raging. But if we're not going to resolve it in 2,000 years, we're certainly not going to resolve it in a few email exchanges over a video posted on YouTube. It's just not going to happen. What's more, it's such an old, hashed out argument that's been had many times, it's actually not worth having. The quite simple thing is, just accept your belief system. You believe it. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be apologetic for it. Don't be proud of it. Don't think it's better than anybody else's. It is merely a belief system. Now, from that belief system, you construct all the things that you want to do in the way that you see the world, and that's fine too. You have to give people credit that they construct their own world and their own systems out of their own beliefs, and yours aren't better than theirs. You may have a consensus, you may have a lot of people who agree with you, but that's beside the point. It doesn't make it right and proper, it just makes it different. Now, one measure of a belief system and the constructions we move around it is called utility. That is how much use we make out of it. So if it is useful to us, that is, it improves our quality of life, helps us exist, helps us move forward, all that sort of stuff. If it's useful to us, we say that it's more likely to be right. But again, utility is one of those things that you can argue whether it's good or bad. The way we currently live, for instance, can be seen as quite terrible in comparison with the dawn of man. So it just depends on your view of things, and it depends on your belief system. Trying to find the truth of a belief system and prove it, well, you're going to spend a lifetime wasting your time. Now, I do quite a lot, and I think that's obvious from the channel and the videos that I do. And I do that because I don't waste my time asking myself if my belief system is right. I just believe it. And that's what I encourage people to do. If you have a belief, there's nothing wrong with that belief. Just believe it. Don't try to prove it. You're wasting your time. Anyway, I hope that was of interest, and thank you very much for listening.